And then the one we've all been waiting for, the last match. No, the main event, again, for one of the world championships, one of the numerous world titles that they have here. This one from SmackDown. Roman Reigns with his cohort, his consort, whatever he is, Paul Heyman, against Edge. And I'm thinking, okay, I have sat through this show, and the only good match the only acceptable match, the only thing has made any sense was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, but I got faith in these two old pros that this is going to be a world title match that deserves to be on pay-per-view, that deserves to be on the big show, hearkening back to the old days when the thing actually meant something, right? This is what I'm thinking. I was wrong in that assumption. I will say Edge looks more like a Viking than the Raiders do.
I'm surprised. I thought you were going to tell me you really like this match.
No, well, I'll tell you, I really like the people in it, and I really didn't like the match, and I'm about to tell you why. I liked part of the match. It's another one of those schizophrenic things. I understood why they started off slow at the beginning, because after the chaos and bumper car match they had in the previous match, you should slow down. It's a world title. They're taking their time, the face-off, getting the chants going, dueling chants, let's go Roman, let's go Edge. These guys look like main eventers. They act like main eventers. They started slow again, traded pie faces rather, and then Edge rode him a little bit and slapped his head around. Reigns tackles Edge down to the floor, gives him the big shoulder tackle and says, "Who's the bitch now?" And of course, Michael Cole says, he's saying, "Who's the boss now?" But anyway, they start going back and forth, and they start picking up the pace. The first big bump of the match was Roman Reigns giving Edge a Samoan drop on the floor, and he did it safely, but still, the guy's had bad neck, but nevertheless. Edge beats the count. He's in at the 9 count. And Reigns gets heat on him. But there was no urgency in the heat early in the match, just an ass kicking and kind of a slow paced one. And now I'm realizing, wait a minute. As it turned out, this thing went well over half an hour. I mean, if you added entrances and afterbirth, you're talking close to an hour, but it definitely, the match bell to bell was a good 30 minutes. I won't say a good 30. I'll say at easily it was 30 minutes. I timed one of the chin locks with a calendar. I understand starting slow after a quick-paced match and then get to people into it and then pick it up from there, but they were paced themselves because for whatever reason, and they went plenty past the 3-hour window, and that used to be a no-no because then you got to pay for a whole full hour of satellite time even if you only use 10 minutes of it. But apparently they got more money than the fucking federal government. They don't care anymore. But all their work looked good. Selling, logic, move timing, just the pace they were going for fucking ever. Finally, Edge started making a pretty good comeback. He started with a single flapjack. We've talked about that one, but it looked for all the world like Roman Reigns boosted himself up and went, "Ha!" Just one person should not be able to elevate a guy like that. Anyway, nevertheless, Edge went for a spear. Reigns caught him in a front face lock. Edge drove him through the floor or through the ropes to the floor. They took a nice bump. And then Reigns misses the spear, goes into the barricade and breaks the barricade down. And the people cheered for a second, popped more or less. But do you remember when that would have torn the complete fucking house down and people would have gone rabid and your chair would have squeaked? And you remember when all those things would have happened?
Yes, some of them still do, yes.
Yes, some of them still do, but not to people going absolutely berserk because you've seen this. How many times have we seen people go through the fucking barricade in the last year alone? So then we fixed it. Because now that they went through that barricade, Edge turns around and spears Roman Reigns through another barricade. So that topped it. And then he carries Reigns to the ring, which he should have, 2 count. Then here's what killed the fucking thing for me. Besides, I could have taken it being that long. I could have taken the pace because everything was good and these guys are pros, but here's what killed the whole thing for me. Reigns goes for the Superman punch on Edge. Edge is supposed to wipe out Charles Robinson, the referee. And it looked like Charles was trying to line himself up where he would get kind of shouldered and go through the ropes. But instead, when Edge went down some kind of way, it looked like on the camera angle that they had, and this is what the announcers called, Edge kind of clipped his leg, Charles's leg, and Charles goes down and starts selling his knee and goes with that. But he's in the ring, just turned over, selling his knee, looking away from the action. I have torn both of my ACLs in a wrestling ring. And I assure you, it's a painful fucking injury, but I still had the capability to turn and look around. I didn't have to just turn my back and sell in one direction. Also, at this point, I'll tell you what happened first, and then I'll tell you what I've learned about wrestling over the years. Roman Reigns goes to the floor. The referee is down. Goes to the floor, but not hurrying. He goes out. He looks around. Oh, he sees what he wants. He wants a chair. He picks up the chair, but he doesn't bring the chair in. He puts his foot on the thing. What do they call them? The spokes or the struts or the chair support or whatever. He breaks off one of those. So he's got like a metal bar in his hand. And he takes forever to get back in the ring, and he's taking his time. When you think about it this way, he's a criminal about to commit a crime behind the back of the police. But he's not hurrying. That means he knows that guy, that referee, is either not going to turn over and look, or he's not supposed to. And so I think by now, Charles has rolled out on the floor on the other side where he can be at least a little farther away from the action and can't look at it. But Reigns gets back in with this thing. He threatens Edge. He threatens the fans. He takes his time, and then he tries to do a crossface where he's going to have the metal piece hooked up in Edge's mouth like he's done to people before, but Edge fights out of it. No shit, he fought out of it. He's been selling the one punch for, and I clocked this, 2 solid minutes. So, of course, by the time Roman Reigns got back to him with the thing, he can't put it on him. Then Edge gets out of it and gets the crossface on Reigns with the chair spoke. But out come the Usos down the aisleway to stop him, but then the Mysterios come and stop him. They are fighting in the last place that we saw the fucking referee, who apparently is now rolled away further and is in a coma and not seeing any of this. And also, we've now established that he's the only referee in the building because no one else has come out, and it's been 4 minutes. Nobody in the back is watching the monitor. Nobody knows that the referee is down. Then Seth Rollins comes in when Edge, finally, the Mysterios have taken the Usos, and they have, you know what they've done, Brian? They've fought off. Just fight off. So they just fought off. Edge gets a fucking crossface on Reigns. Seth Rollins comes in, super kicks Edge in the back of the fucking head and walks out. The referee has now been down for well over 4 minutes. The Roman Reigns, now takes the opportunity to get up and go for the Superman punch. But Edge spears him. And there's a big pop. And he covers Roman Reigns. And guess what happens now? 5 minutes after the first referee got knocked down, but as exactly at the moment in time when it should be called for, wouldn't you know who won the pony? Here comes the second referee. God damn it. And he counts a 2 count. Fucking hell. So now Seth comes back, and he gets up on the apron, and Edge kicks him off the apron. And Roman Reigns just spears him. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And that's over. That's what, when a referee gets bumped, and this is why that everybody groans now when it happens. And this is why the Booker of the Year over on the other channel says, but we don't bump the referees. That's right, because they have no power and they're completely meaningless, but at least you don't bump them, except when you bump them. But the reason why everybody groans is because of the way that the referee is bumped, and this is the classic example. A shitty-looking bump, and he had to stay down for 5 minutes. He didn't have to stay down for 5 minutes. He could have got up and seen the whole thing. So the booker, whoever called this finish, whoever laid it out, they buried the referee. Bill Watts would have fined the people involved or fired his booker if this had been him. This would have got a booker fired years ago because people would have seen through this. Of course, now they're not looking to see through anything. They've already seen through it, but still it's fucking stupid. Once that the referee is bumped, and there's all kinds of different ways to do it, and it's believable that a referee can get tied up in wild action. It happens. But it needs to come out of nowhere. You need not to be a perfect referee bump. You don't see it coming, but when it happens, you go, oh my God, because it looks good, and it looks like he couldn't get out of the way, and it looks like something uncalled for happened. That's a good referee bump. Once you do that, then your clock is ticking. And I used to fucking sit down with guys that were going through their finishes that they had come up with, running them by us. And they, okay, bumped around. Okay, how are you going to do it? Okay, fine. What are you doing now? We're boom, 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 boom. And when they'd get finished, I'd say, well, there's a problem with that. What's that? Where's your referee? Well, we bumped him. How long ago did you bump him? Oh, is it 15, 20 seconds? No, what you just told me that you were going to do, it's going to take at least 75 seconds. Therefore, shorten it, because now you've fucking put the heat on the referee and you've taken the people out of the match and you've made it fucking bullshit because the referee's having to fucking lay there forever. Why wouldn't another one come out? If a referee is down for more than a short period of time, some other referee is going to have to come out because people are keeping an eye on this in the back. So if it's going to be the original referee, you have to, as I said before, act like you're committing a crime and do it while the cop's back is turned. If you're going to bring another referee out, then your clock is still ticking. Because when that referee has gone down, if it was a shoot, what would somebody say in the back? Oh, shit, Barney's down. Get another referee. Is there a referee standing by while this fucking falderall is going on around in the back? That's when the criminal is committing his fucking crime. So as soon as the fucking cheating or whatever move is being done or whatever thing is being done that can't be seen by a referee, as soon as that's over with, that second referee has to be running down there because it wouldn't take long for somebody in the back. 20 seconds, would it be? Hey, get Joe, Barney's down. What? Joe's zipping his pants up. He was just jacking off. Well, tell him to finish. God, boom, boom, boom. Okay, get the fuck out there. That's what's supposed to be going on in people's minds in the arena while the referee's down and the heel's trying to fucking cheat real quick. When your referee is down, and now they've got the fans back. I know they can shoot television around the referee laying there for 4 minutes, but what are those 15,000 people in Dickey's Arena supposed to think when they see him laying there? Maybe they sent somebody down to check on him. Well, goddamn, if he's hurt bad enough that he can't get to his feet within 5 minutes, maybe we should have seen a fucking ambulance or a stretcher. And more importantly, if they'd have sent anybody to check on him and they'd seen he's hurt that bad, they'd be waving another referee down. You can't just stop time to do the emoting in the ring that some fucking writer has figured out, or somebody in the new wrestling business that gets too cute for their own good and has to put all these twists and turns in. It's bullshit. So they cheated these guys, they're main event guys, but this was a garbage finish. And when Roman Reigns hit that spear, I wrote, thank God this is over. But it wasn't. Because Seth and Roman Reigns then had a face-off. Or are they going to get into it? But Edge was back up and tackled Seth, and guess what they did, Brian? You'll never believe what Seth Rollins and good old fucking Edge did then. They fought off.
They fought off.
They fought off. So now Roman Reigns can get the microphone and start cutting a promo, and then Cena music. The crowd went mental. The crowd went apeshit. Looked like the Monday Night Wars 20 years ago. A star has returned. Glory, hallelujah. He hit the ring. He outshone the rest of the entire show by hitting the ropes and tossing his hat to the people and telling Roman Reigns he couldn't see him. And it was just like the old days when people were actually fucking over. Imagine that. So at least it made him forget the finish of that fucking match. Now argue with me and tell me what I just said isn't the... Why did you think I was going to like that finish?
I don't know about the finish. I thought maybe you'd like the match, but I agree with you about the pacing. It's an issue, I think, that's been around for a while with some of the main event matches and maybe even some of Roman's matches. But I like the match by and large, except for Seth Rollins running in. I'm not really interested in Seth Rollins versus Edge, but everyone has to do something. But that Cena pop and Roman Reigns and Heyman's faces in the ring when Cena came out, that's something. And when you see something like that and you hear that pop, you know, it sounds weird saying this. It's not like I'm the biggest John Cena fan. But sometimes you forget what a big star is.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and then they arrive. I think Roman Reigns looks like a big star. I think Lashley looks like a big star. There aren't a lot of guys on this roster that do, but Cena's at another level.
Well, that's the problem is Lashley looks like a big star, and everybody you mentioned everybody you mentioned looks like a big star, but they haven't been booked like big stars. John Cena's a big star because that people remember him from when there were a bunch of big stars and you could tell who they were. He's the last one left. But SummerSlam will be just off the chain, as the kids say.